Hi everybody, just to finish up chapter 3 for you, I've done a couple of flats right here, front and back. And one of the things that you want to remember after you make sure that your strokes are looking good and you don't have any peaky points, what I call peaky points, is when you do your stitching, you want to make sure that it doesn't extend past the outline here. So make sure that all of your stitching is contained within the actual outline. The other thing that you want to make sure is that you group everything after you're done. Um, and one of the things that you may run into on the back is when you go to unite this, you may get a straight line going right across. So one of the things that you can do, and these are kind of the workaround things that you will need to try to remember going forward, is to add a point. And you can add a point. If this line is straight here, you just add a little point and then nudge it down the same way you did the front. And that will give you the nice shape on the back neckline, and then you can do your stitching. So what I like to do is to ungroup each one before I add the stitching, and then make sure you use the direct selection tool down here and just click on the anchor point where she tells you in the book, and then use your arrows to nudge up. Once you get your stitching, with you've got your nice stitching and you've got your dash line, and you want to make sure that's on 2-point, and then you've got 2-point here. You want to make sure that once you do this one, all you have to do to the other ones is use the eyedropper tool and then just eyedrop it right there. Just put your eyedropper tool over the stitching and then just copy it. So you'll highlight this line and then just eyedropper everything. Okay, but you want your stitching to look uniform. You want to make sure that your stitching looks nice and clean with no stitching hanging out over the edges. If you can't see it, blow it up so you can see it. Just Control ++ or Command ++ on your keyboard. You don't need to fill these right now. I'm not asking you to fill these. I just want to see nice, clean sketches. And so I hope that this has been helpful to you in finishing up chapter 3. Going forward, we're going to be learning how to do a line. And we're going to get into doing a shirt, but not sure I want to use her shirt tutorial in the book. I think I may use a different one that I discovered over the weekend. So stay tuned for next week. All you have to do are 3 flats. You're going to do a short sleeve t-shirt, a long sleeve t-shirt, and then one of your choice. If you want to use the one where you cut it out with Swiss cheese and do all the fun things that you did a couple of weeks ago, then you can do that as well. If you want to change a neckline to a V-neck, if you want to do something kind of interesting, look on Fashion Snoop, see what's out there, and then create your flats. And the way I like to present flats is I like to make sure that they're kind of staggered next to each other, so you can, just kind of stagger them close like that on your artboard. Remember, this is underneath. If you want to, I would leave this, just turn the eyeball off. One of the tricks that I do, I know that Robin does everything on one layer. One of the things that I did after I finished the back was that I grouped it, I copied it, I made a new layer that just said back, and then I clicked on this layer and pasted it right in there. So you can see I have my back on its own layer. And that way you have 2 separate layers if you want to work on 2 separate things, 2 separate areas. But I like to do it that way. That way I keep my layers nice and clean and neat. And then of course you have your sub layers. But this is a good way to do it. She likes to, have you name this right here. I just create a new layer. You can do it any way you want to do it. I'm just showing you what I do. One other thing I wanted to show you is if these are too small for you to see, just go down to panel options, and then you can make these much larger. So let's just say I'm going to do them pretty big. I'm going to do them at 40. So now you can really see what you're working on, okay? So just a couple little tips as you finish up. Put everything on one artboard So make sure that you do that when you turn in your assignment. Make sure that I have the AI version, not a PDF, because I can't open up the PDF. Okay, everybody, that's it for today.